jeez. Hot jeez. I got all the ticks I need. Let's just make sure that these don't just have... Yeah, so we get like a bar before, and so then I can just stack all of these. Pack tick folder. Yeah, so now the chorus is just all a stack of that, and I can fuck with it. White Sage is going extinct? What? God and humanity, how dare you take my magic from me? There's like a patch of sage in my backyard. Like I get it. That's unless you start. Oh, okay. When spring comes around, I'm gonna get like a ton of bushels of sage, or like the ones that we have at our house. Not like a ton, but like enough for like a couple wands, you know? I've done that before. But it dried out and like crumbled. No. Let's pull the... Where's the good ones? Oh, this is gonna be so sloppy. Can I ask how you treat the spirits that desire to find your... Wait. Can I ask how you treat the spirits that you desire to find? Like your end goal by connecting with that force. Just say you're doing it. Just say you're doing it, and then find a way that, like anything, that you can say, this is a significant thing. This has symbolism with this. This has symbolism with this. And so if I associate these concepts with this figure, I'm going to summon the waves that I'm going to Pavlovianly associate with these concepts. And I'm going to see what they say. And then you can figure out how to let those shadows into your brain. And, you know, I don't do that though. Like, I don't know, like, that's not, I have symbolism that I like to write creativity, like, creatively. When you do this, what have you gained from the experience? Google Jupiter. Go look at the new Juno pictures of Jupiter. They're my color scheme. That's my end goal. Like, I already did it. I don't need to do jack shit anymore. I have planet. Really, like, the only thing that you're gonna get is you're gonna find yourself in a more interesting scenario than you were before. That's the only thing spirituality's for. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't bring anything into the tangible world. There's things that are tangible. There's things that are tangible that you can mess with, and there's a bit of a way you can push that science, but, you know, you're not communicating with spirits any more than, like, communicating with spirits. It's like there's different forces in the universe. They're not like ghosts. What you gain from vortexes, it's spinning electromagnetic energy using harmonic vibration in the air. So if you play, so say that you are, you know, standing in a circle, breathing rhythmically, and like finding harmonies in the same place over fuck, I want to find, like, this isn't like a bullshit thing. This is like, we've done it. Torus. Toroidal field. Oh boy, let's get to, yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but we're doing it now. So a toroidal field is when you have, it's the shape that electromagnetic energy takes, and it kind of has a lot to do with the geometrics of how nature does stuff. And it is, in fact, the shape of the electromagnetic field of the heart, shape of the electromagnetic field of the planet. Energy moves itself. Electromagnetic energy moves itself in this shape, basically. And in the middle of it, there's a vortex. So if you have heartbeats filling the air with electromagnetic energy, and then you, you know, do something to either excite yourself or breathe steadily or whatever the fuck. Like, if you do that, there's a thing that happens if you put sand or water on like a plate and then play a frequency through it. It'll make these patterns, these kind of patterns. And this here, you might notice that sort of pattern. Like, they form these kind of simple geometrical, almost natural sort of things. Here's a bunch of climatic patterns that are just light showing through some water that's got some stuff. Higher the frequency, the more complex the shape. Yeah, essentially. You can also combine frequencies. And when you combine frequencies, you find roughly the harmonic ratios that lead to nature, like the way nature counts. Have you ever heard of Zipf's law? Zipf's law. Yeah. stars are just a shape in the middle of something that's taking one shape and making it into different shapes, and then it does that so hard and so fast that it's on fire. So Zipf's law is this rule that shows. Oh, man, I wish any of these were labeled right. English, yeah. Let's look at English. So Zipf's law is the idea that in frequencies of usage, there's one rule. It's black on black text. Thank you. I'm gonna find Zipf's law. Basically, distribution of things in a system is most stable and tends to occur at this generalized harmonic number. They tend to occur in the harmonic series. Racist, I was fine with black on black. Well, you know what? These colors are hard to see when you're not shining any light through some pixels. So let's not make this a race thing. So the way that Zipf works is that the most abundant thing is a number. The second most abundant thing is half that number. The third most abundant thing is a third of that number, etc., etc. And you can go look up YouTube videos about this. There's a bunch of, sciencey fact channels that do this kind of stuff. The is about 14,000 times. The word the occurs in, I don't know what the fucking book this is, but this is a random book. The occurs about 14,000 times. 14,000 times. Of occurs about, of and seem to be tied for about 7,000. And then A, to, and in are tied at around, what is that? That's like 2,000, 6,000. That's a weird fucking scale. I don't know what that is. But it looks like about, fuck. Who can math? I don't have a brain for this right now. But this one's around 7,000. This one's around 14,000. And this one is around, I'm gonna wager that's like 3,500 to 4,000. And then, this graph continues. Did you know that in every language, the most frequent word occurs twice as often as the second most frequent? This phenomenon is called Zipf's law. There's a few other things that work like this. The distribution of chemicals in healthy cells that consider themselves to be in homeostasis, have a balance of organic chemicals that is one, and then a half of that, and then a third of that, and then, whatever the fuck that unit is. I don't know. But abundance of matter in the universe also follows this. Pattern. So nature counts, and nature counts in whole, half, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, etc., etc. So that is... Anyone can go to case.dog/hs/hs.png. I typed Pong instead of PNG. So let's back that up. You can see, oh fuck, this is a huge image. I really should split it up into octaves, but essentially this is the harmonic series up to 7. And it starts with a root, which is a note. I've explained this a bunch. Then it goes with an octave, so same note, and then you hear that? And that note. That is what is known on guitar as a power chord. So the second octave of the harmonic series contains this fucking thing here. There's a They Might Be Giants song that's a bunch of fucking compilation. Like, it's just a bunch of random songlets that they wrote and then they packed them into a 10-minute song, and it's called Fingertips. And about like 2 or 3 minutes in, there's a part that's, what's that blue thing doing here? And that's essentially what the second octave of the harmonic series is, because you have like, you know, that's a pretty easy sound to figure out. But then you have, and it's like, oh, that's different. There's a thing there. Before this was called the fifth, this was called the dominant. And the dominant usually referred to like this or a fourth, which actually the gap between this perfect fifth here and the next note above it is a perfect fourth. You know, and that's a fourth. Then you get to this motherfucker. Or, how do I play this? No, hang on. Yeah. No. I gotta find a better place to play this. There we go. There we go. So this here is 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm in a different key now. I'm just trying to explain each octave on its own because they're different. And this chord here. There's two parts of it you can play. You can root it off of the 4 and play a triad, which is what nature likes because it took 3 to get this far. So it's like, well, what 3 can I do? So off root, it's those. The fucking overtones in the voice match on a much higher octave. You can sort of hear it, but this is like through a mic and not like a huge echoey room. You could also base this off of, and this is known as the diminished triad. This is when you root it off of 5 and not the root, or harmonic 5, not the fifth. The fifth is harmonic 6 and also harmonic 3 and also harmonic 12. So. Anyway. Now I want you to notice planets. Planets. We got 3 ones that are made of rocks, right? That are surrounding us. And then there's like a fucking barrier. And then there's like 3 planets that are their own fucking thing. And then there's like one that's just a more distant version of that. And then there's like a fucking tiny one that's just out there. But after that, the orbits get really unstable. We have super stable orbits here. Once you get past Jupiter, 5 here, then, you know, shit becomes a little less stable. So anyway, that's the harmonic series. What I mean by vortexes is that if you're in 3-dimensional space and you sing into a climatic harmonic resonance, here's the payoff. What you're doing is you're taking the electromagnetic energy that you're already spilling out into the room with your heartbeat and with your activity and with your singing and the use of your muscles and the use of your brain, if you're sending any energy up to your brain to do the fucking pineal gland thing. But you do that and you vibrate the air in like really intricate patterns using those harmonics. And you just have everyone take a harmonic, and now you are doing kinetic resonance with the magnetic field in between you. Welcome back, Spoonie. I'm explaining vortexes. Anyway. Also, I hope you didn't lose anything from that crash. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so like a plate, like you play different tones on it, and the patterns are different. If you play like harmonics into three-dimensional space, you create that pattern. That's good. You create that pattern, toroidal field. And yeah, and I also have news. What's the news? Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius, apparently. Oh no. An anvil can float on Mercury? Or in Mercury, like the element? Because of surface tension, right? Or density? But that's what a vortex is. That's how to real life do a vortex. If you want to go fucking look up someone who, you know, used to be an IBM engineer and now does all this shit, don't take for granted. Here's the thing. Whenever you go into the weeds of metaphysics, don't believe a goddamn thing you hear. Don't believe a single fucking thing you hear. Don't even think about it. Entertain the thought, but don't believe a goddamn thing you hear from like anybody about any metaphysics at all, including me. This is supposed to be info that you come across, trip across, and, yeah, Mercury used to put into medicine. Yeah, fuck. We used to not be very good about how to heal things. But it was a cure-all, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be suffering anymore if you were fucking poisoned. Looks like you got some ghosts in your blood. You should try doing some cocaine about it. Yeah. But what I was gonna say was, I think that's how they floated the granite stones in the Great Pyramid. I think it's a combination of that and water. You fucking wet the ground so it has more traction, so you can roll the shit. Like over the slicked ground that has like freedom of motion. And as long as you keep the upper part a little bit elevated, it's not gonna like dirge into the thing. I don't know. I was there when they did that. But you guys can go look at Dan Winter has a lot of crazy shit that is down this alleyway, and I think if you listen to Dan Winter and then listen to like fucking like As Above So Below, like you'll just like have a context for all of the fucking things I say in that song or like on that album in general. I'm really into controlled crazy. I totally consider religion and spirituality to be controlled crazy. Because you can't see it, you can't confirm it, you need to understand that ideas are like a thing in their own space, and that physicality is a thing in its own space. And there might be some shit going on outside that you can't perceive. But you have no way. You have no fucking way to know. So, don't be afraid to fuck with some ideas, as long as you don't act on any of them. You know, and as long as you're fucking honest about yourself and things. And things happening around you and the place where you're at. Like, you can sort of read what's going on. let's try to do... I don't think I can even fucking do this the way I wanted to. I might just do it the old way. But I might... I don't know how I fucked up the tempo that bad. What happened? The full moon is in Gemini. That's my, like, practical sign. I don't have anything in Gemini, but apparently I'm practically a Gemini because of my fucking, my rising sign is Libra, which is, halfway through, which makes everything flip on its head, apparently. That's what Madi told me. I totally believe. I don't have anything in Gemini. It's not that I don't have a sign. My sign is Sagittarius. Reverse Gemini vibe. I totally think that Gemini... Like, it's weird because... I think, like... Once I heard that, it was like, that's obvious to me. That's so obvious to me that I'm a Gemini running on Sagittarius machinery. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. And that the signal getting put out is more like a Libra. What the hell does the midheaven mean? Like, what does that mean? I gotta look this up now. I hope it's nothing bad. I hope I didn't open a can of worms. Midheaven. In the midheaven in the 10th house. What your 9th house envisions, the 10th house brings to earth. In quadrant systems of house division, the midheaven, the degree of the ecliptic which reaches its highest point at the meridian of any place marks the cusp of the 10th house. The midheaven is the most elevated point in the chart, and symbolically speaking, placements here stand out above all others in the horoscope. The qualities of any sign or planet in this position correspond to what is in us is most visible and accessible to others, what stands out in us. Whereas the 4th house, the opposite house, represent what we are like privately and how we behave at home behind closed doors. The midheaven and the 10th house, normally associated with Saturn and Capricorn, indicate the way that we behave publicly, the image we wish to present to the world, the kinds of clothes we don when we step out. Liz Green calls the MC and the 10th house our social shorthand. This is pretty accurate. How we would most like to be seen by others and how we would describe ourselves to them. In keeping with the elevated position of the midheaven, placements in this area suggest those qualities for... Spoonie, do you know what my midheaven is? Like, I know it, but I want to know if you can guess. Placements in the 10th denote what we would... I think you know already, but Placements in the 10th denote what we would most like to be remembered as having contributed to the world. This is the house of ambition, behind which what lurks the pressing urge and compulsion to be esteemed and acknowledged. The ancient Greeks believed that if you performed a truly noble or heroic deed, you were rewarded by being made a constellation. And okay, that's funny. I didn't even know that. But that's my mythos. Oh, okay. So the Midhaven means what is most accessible and visible to someone's personality, and what aspects tend to stand out from someone. Like, it's the way we behave publicly and the image we wish to present to the world, how we would like to be seen by others, and how we would describe ourselves to them. Placements in the 10th denote what we would most like to be remembered as having contributed to the world. This is the house of ambition, behind which lurks the pressing urge and compulsion to be esteemed and acknowledged. Like, it's really fucking obvious if you consider me as a person. But I know I've, like, said so before. So it's like a zodiac sign? Yeah, it's one of them. You have a zodiac sign in your Midhaven, basically. It's the 10th house. No, it's Cancer. God damn it, right? Yeah, I fucking pissed. Midheaven means the one that's highest up. Like, or that the moon is behind when it's highest up. I know you've got something in Scorpio. That's Jupiter. Jupiter's in Scorpio. Like, my one bit of John Egbert astrology is I have Mars in Aries. That's funny. Midhaven, the fact that it's the Midhaven is, like, really interesting to me, because my whole thing is, like, I'm going to bring the philosophical moon temple to Earth. Whatever the fuck that is. And if you look at the Moon Tarot card, and I've gotten the Moon Tarot card reversed quite a few times. If you look at the Moon Tarot card, you will see that opposite the moon is, in fact, a crustacean. Yeah. So, this is my life. I have a friend named Red Hunt. And I am the African golden wolf. Canis Anthus. And I've lived between two old buildings for most of my life. So, you know, you can't escape this fate. I know. No, I know. Listen, it's the end of a year of knowing this. Like, this is 18. Jared and I had a very religious experience, and we looked at the Moon Tarot card after it. It was the beginning of 2018, and we were like, this is the year. This is the year, and this is the story we have. And then, like, over the course of the year, how do you know about the lobster and Jordan Peterson's take on it? I'm gonna say I fucking hate Jordan Peterson because his name is one sound off from mine. I don't want to talk about Jordan Peterson. I don't want to hear his name ever. Nothing to do with his politics. I think he's right about a select few things, and I think he goes overboard with everything else. But I just don't like him because my fucking name is Jordan Peter. Oh Yeah, he's been a sellout. Like, he's been making, like, edgy YouTube rant videos for, like, years and years. He wanted to be that, like, edgy professor with, like, edgy opinions. And he's changed them over a couple years. And now he's, like, fucking getting donations by PragerU. What the fuck is that? Why is he on PragerU? I thought his whole thing was, like, supposed to be talking about, like, you know, moving beyond the fucking, like, untrue controlled narrative bullshit. Why is he on PragerU then? That seems pretty, you know, controlled narrative to me. Anyway. I'm sorry, I had to go off on Jordan Peterson for a bit. I'm sick. I don't have time for this. I don't have patience for this. He was hanging out with Dr. Oz. What? That ought to tell you. That ought to tell you who Jordan Peterson is. Oh, no. I gotta be right back. I dropped my kombucha. Ah, shit. There's no towels here. I have a shitty rag. And that's about the best that I can do right now. Wow. I'm downstairs. Yeah. My dad has been in the marketing game in this corner of the greater Chicago area for a while. And he made some bank and built up a bunch of equipment doing video marketing for the Mills Corporation, which, you know, they built a bunch of malls in the 90s, basically. 80s and 90s, I think. And so we have a studio space that, like, you know, some of that went to nabbing and setting up a place at this theater building. If you haven't seen Ruins in the Rust Belt, go check that out, the Kenosha Theater. That's the building we're in. And so this is the storefront that's next to it. And this is a really small inner room that was built out of plywood. Not plywood. It's pretty decent. This is a pretty cool room. It's got a vocal booth and shit. But, this is a little enclave in our cave. And my apartment is upstairs. Not saying where. But it's around here. The video should be called, Ruins in the Rust Belt. It's on my channel. We have a lot of old rugs because of theater restorationist and things that we've been saddled with. And we have a lot of crazy old but versatile equipment here that I'm so fucking grateful. Oh, the building name? Kenosha Theater. Please don't show up outside my house. That's happened before. If you're nice enough and offer me money, I will give you a tour. If I know who you are, and you showed up, and I know that you just showed up to my fucking apartment unaddressed, or unannounced, it's not gonna be a good time with you, me, and the police. So, yeah. Yeah, somebody straight up found me. Like, I was walking to the health food store to get a drink, and they just found me. I think it was an Uplift kombucha, to be honest. Yeah, it's gonna smell bad tomorrow. I'm gonna let my dad know this happened. Oh boy. What a stream! If all you can find is the Orpheum, then you're not meant to find this place. It exists in a pocket dimension. Yep, Spoony knows the Orpheum thing. Alright. Well, it's not the Orpheum. It's the other one. Another day rolls. Fuck. Yeah. We're not exactly lakeside now. It's literally just called the Kenosha Theater. If you can't find it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're all fucking ghosts. Like, this place isn't real. I've been through like 7 fucking lifetimes to get here. They gave me a whole dream bubble in Kenosha, goddamn Wisconsin. Alright, let's try to do a little bit of a... recording over this just because I know what I want to do now. Congratulations. Your day rolls to a close. Another city. There's no woodwork. It's all plaster. And I have no idea. Some people in the 20s.